Alright guys, well in today's video we're going to be checking out what could quite easily be one of the biggest RTX 3080s on the market. So this here is the AORUS RTX 3080 Master. Now this particular model here, it isn't quite regarded as that flagship model for AORUS. That spot there is reserved for the Extreme. But there are actually too many differences between the two different models there, so it might be worth you saving a bit of coin and going for this Master. Master is a colossal graphics card which is not for the faint-hearted. The cooler completely dwarfs the board underneath, carrying a massive heatsink along with a triple fan configuration. This GPU also features a factory overclock and benefits from a plethora of display outputs. Now pricing varies massively for graphics cards, as you well know. It is based on availability, but here is the pricing that I was able to jump on for this particular model. It is $850 in the US, $900 in the UK, and in Australia it's anywhere between sort of $1,600 and $1,700. It's floated in between those two prices. There is of course a huge issue at the moment with supply and availability, and I know many of you are pretty frustrated with the situation. However, once things do settle down, hopefully this video will give you a bit of an idea of what to expect from this Master here. So enjoy. Before we get into our review, today's video is brought to you by Corsair and the K95 RGB Platinum XT. This mechanical keyboard is the brand's current flagship, and it boasts perky RGB backlighting, a 19-zone light edge across the top of the board, as well as dedicated media keys with volume roller. There are also dedicated macro keys on the left side, and this XT has full support for the Elgato Stream Deck. So this is undoubtedly one of Corsair's most feature-rich keyboards to date. For more info on the XT, check out that link in the description. Alrighty, well here is the monolithic 3080 Master. Of the different graphics cards you'll have seen, this here is perhaps one of the most unique and eye-catching models on the market. The cooling solution found on a Master is called Max Covered Cooling. It is the component which is responsible for giving this card such a footprint. This cooler isn't just any ordinary triple fan design, there's a lot more to it than that, and later on we'll be taking it apart to see what's underneath. And so for once we're actually grateful for a plastic shroud on this card. If it was metal, we'd need some extensive GPU support system to take on that weight. AORUS has really gone to town on the lighting for Master. As such, it has illuminations which can be seen on the top side, which also hits the fan blades. We get some on the reverse of the card, and along the edge we've got some lighting as well as an LCD monitor which can display stats and also be customized with images, text and animated GIFs. All of this can be modified using the RGB Fusion 2, which is integrated with the AORUS engine software. And so inside there you can fully customize that LCD screen for stats or whatever you want, like customized text. Color profiles and animations can also be set inside there too. And you can see it is very comprehensive in terms of what options there are. It goes without saying that this card is massive. In fact, I go as far as to say it's the biggest GPU that I've probably seen in my life. Here it is next to a 20 series GPU for scale. And so you guys are definitely going to want to know the dimensions and check that it's going to fit inside your case. And so here are the measurements. The length is just short of 320mm. For the width it is 150mm, and then the height is 70mm. Now this card is among those with a factory overclock applied to it, and as such we should be able to benefit from quite a hike in performance. And so the GPU clock boost is set at 1845 MHz, and that is up from the reference frequency of 1770, and the memory clock sits at the reference settings of 19 gigabits. As with all 3080s, we get the 10 gig of GDDR6X, which has the 320-bit bus. Master is a PCI Express 4 card. It comes in there with the 8704 CUDA cores, has the DirectX 12 Ultimate support, along with Vulkan 1.2 and OpenGL 4.6. Now in terms of your computer case, this card is a double slotter, but as you can see, the size of the cooler will clearly stray into possibly another 2 slots there. And on the back panel we have the 3 DisplayPort 1.4s. Those can give you the 8K at 60, and we also get 3 HDMI 2.1 ports. 2.1 of course allows you to tap into 4K at 120 and 8K at 60. Other 3080s that we've seen have only provided a single HDMI, so this here is going to offer you the most for multi-display. Now if you know anything about the RTX 30 series, you know that it's extremely power hungry, and AORUS are recommending a 750 watt power supply for this, and it requires 2 8-pin connections. And those connectors use power indicators which will let you know if power isn't properly being delivered. Turning to the back of the card, we have a metal backplate which gives some protection and also helps to maintain some firmness for that weight distribution. We get a pocket of ventilation towards the end of the card to allow the airflow to pass through. And this card here comes with dual BIOS, and the switch for this is visible from this side on the upper edge. There is a quiet mode or an OC mode. The quiet mode will adjust that fan curve and drop the frequency. Okay, so we've taken the cooler off our master, and so what we have here are these 3 double ball bearing cooling fans. 2 are 115mm, and the one closest to the rear input panel is a 100mm fan. Those fans overlap and are stacked and feature a wind claw design, which AORUS claim will better cover that heatsink. The 2 outer fans spin in an anti-clockwise motion, while the middle fan spins clockwise. These fans utilize 0 decibel technology, meaning that they're going to stop spinning when idle, and AORUS calls this a 3D active fan. Those fans sit on top of this gigantic heatsink, which makes use of a vapor chamber design with that large copper plate there, which has direct contact for the GPU and the VRAM. This cooler is very effective, and it's going to give you temps around the 60 mark, but be sure to stick around to the end of the video as we're going to check this out. Having that heatsink removed means we can also get a good view of the design of the board. You can see here it actually isn't that big. The cooler overhangs quite a lot. And so this master card here uses a huge 20-phase power delivery system, and it has premium components from the ultra durable feature set, including the likes of top-end chokes. And the driving force behind the 3080 is that GA102 GPU. This is based on Nvidia's Ampere architecture. Now, based on the spec of the GPU, the memory, and the CUDA core count, this here is going to be ideal for 1440p and 4K gaming. So with our breakdown of the card complete, let's now check out the performance of this 3080 against AMD's RX 6800 XT by way of this XFX Merc 319. And we're not just going to overlay some graphs and stick on some music. Instead, we're going to show actual side-by-side performance. If you want more benchmarks, different games, and resolutions, check out that web review in the description. For this test, we're going to be sticking with 4K and the maximum detail preset in each game, and for Battlefield, we're going to enable ray tracing. And we'll be using the latest drivers from both parties, along with a game capture card to avoid any frame rate interference. We'll also have GPUs there running in the background to pick up on the max temperatures. The result for that will come at the end. Okay, and if we just come out of our last game, let's see the max temperature results. And there we go. Alrighty, well that is the AORUS RTX 3080 Master. First of all, this is a very aggressive looking graphics card, and if that's your kind of thing, then it's a great looking card. If you are the type of gamer that really likes that RGB lighting, then Master has all those bells and all those whistles, and it also has the benefit of that LCD panel, which you can fully customize in the software. Now, as is the case for the 3080 versus the 6800 XT, it's a bit of a mixed bag as to which card offers the best performance. It really depends on which titles you play. But what we can say is under the 3080 division, This particular card here offers excellent performance. It's a good choice if you're a 1440p or a 4K gamer and you want those ultra settings and ray tracing. One of the things that you will need to take into account though is that sheer size and the weight of this thing. It is quite easily one of the biggest GPUs that we've seen, and as a result you'll probably need to check out those case dimensions just to make sure that it's going to fit. The cooler is very well kitted out, and as a result you're going to get those low temperatures, and even though it does hit those high RPMs in our tests, it isn't loud at all. So if you're on the hunt for a 3080 and you want something that performs really well, has those extras like the LCD panel and the extra outputs, the HDMI, plus a 4-year warranty, then we can certainly recommend this model here. Again, you know, buying one will obviously depend on that stock availability, which I know is extremely disappointing and frustrating at the moment. But what do you guys think of this model that we've been taking a look at today? Have you managed to snag yourself a new GPU? Do you have any plans in this current season to upgrade your graphics cards? Let's start some discussion in the comment section below. For the web review of this 3080 Master with a completely different set of game benchmarks, different resolutions and comparison to other cards, please click on that link which will be on the screen and in the description very soon. A huge thanks to you guys for watching today. Would love to hear your opinions on this particular card here that we've been having a look at. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.